Okay, Mr. Jayola, Mr. Elliott wants to add something to this.
Yes, the truth about our problem in the country, like you said, is
no. I'd like us to.
I'm coming with solution now.
No, let's narrow it because
to agree, yes.
We're talking about agriculture.
No,
we're not looking at the
subset. It's a subset of
okay. Look at.
But we're focusing.
Nigeria.
Sorry, please. We're focusing on agriculture
yes,
on the program this morning.
Yeah.
And he's highlighted some of the challenges. And you see, it's very apt that you, who is the chairman of the agri group of the LCCI, is also on the program for us to take a very closer look at this. This is an issue that has been going on for a very long time. I had a couple of gentlemen on the program yesterday who also talked about agriculture. And it seemed as if the very key aspect of agriculture, of driving agricultural growth at this time was lacking, which is the value chain, the processors, the farmers, the producers, the very, very critical aspect. Yeah. And so we want to talk about this on the program today, but it just seems as if you're focusing more on the challenges of the country as a whole when we want to focus on agriculture.
Yeah, we will zero in on agriculture, but it's good to look at the issues that are surrounding the problem of agriculture. It's not an isolated case. Now, how do we want to solve the problem? That's your interest, and that's my interest. Now, how do we solve a Greek value chain problem from what we have seen over the years? Now, you see, we have a number of institutions now that are there to drive value chain in this country. I mentioned FIRO, that's the Federal Institute of Industrial Research. Their responsibility is to create equipment, machine, that will process the products, yam, rice, cassava. They have the technology, and they can train farmers. Then we have, ITA has been coming up with equipment, to process cassava. These are all elements of, value chain. When you're talking about value chain, you're just saying that what efforts we have put in to benefit maximally from each product, like yam, like cassava. I mean, it's not just that, if you go to my 12 now, you see banana, plantain, just wasting away. Why? Because they don't have storage. These people, they are not exposed to, agro-processing. They just produce and bring it to Lagos. Now, what the government is doing is this, to achieve this. You had recently the Minister of Agriculture, a lot of programs to increase production, rice production, cassava production. Yeah, that's good. Now we want to get to the next level. How do we get to the next level?
That's the question.
Good, which is the value chain. How do we get there? Now, what the government has done at macro level of the economy is fantastic, and that's what we need to do now. What have they done there? There's synergy, there's coordinator. You have economic team now, headed by a minister, Mrs. Okojo-Iweala, coordinating the activities of the ministers, okay? Now, what we need to do now is to have a bureau, called the Nigerian Bureau of Productivity. That Nigerian Bureau, it could be created by, a bill in the House of, passing a bill in the House of Assembly, or by presidency decision to set it up. What are they to do? Since you have all of these institutions that will drive value chain, because when you are talking of like it's agro-processing and sales, transportation, distribution. If you go to the malls, you can see what is going on in Nigeria, a number of malls just coming up. If you go in there, all the products that are being displayed are products under value chain coming from other countries. Here, the reason is this: we have the raw material, we have all that it takes to do it, but there's no coordination. So what we are suggesting is this now. Let the government have a bureau that coordinates all of these institutions. And we organize group like LCCI, like Nigerian Poultry Association, another group. We set up our cooperative, because that's the way it works. We set up our cooperative, and our members will be recommended to this bureau that has control over the bank, because when you talk of value chain, bank of it, like for instance, you're talking of the money, the intervention that government puts in. Yeah, the money will be there. But the way this money will be dispensed, to cut off what he said, that it's personal. I mean, if you are my friend, you get it. The way to do it is simple.
Okay. But Mr. Jayola, let me take up one of the points that Mr. Elliott actually mentioned. We have these industries to drive the value chain, and as we've pointed out on the program, the value chain is the producers, the processors, and the marketers. Now, he's mentioned FIRO, he's mentioned IITA.
And raw material research.
So, how much have, people in your industry, that's this value chain now, how much have they keyed into working very closely with these industries that he's mentioned? Because they are also very instrumental to ensuring that the industry grows.
Yeah, it's true. FIRO, I really work with FIRO, and we've been to IITA. Really, they are really doing a very good work. They are said, as he said, they are lacking fund. That is, I think they can create fund for themselves without even looking at the government fund. So they are doing a very good work. But the problem we are talking here, Nigerians, we don't have price control. It's really killing farmers. When you planted crops, and at the end of the day, you don't know what you are getting from it. Middlemen will come. They are the beneficiary of our problem. They are the beneficiary of our product. They buy at a given away price, and then they will sell at the market at an exorbitant price because there is no route. If you refuse to sell for them, you have no access of carrying your product to the market.
So what have farmers tried to do to ensure that at least they have better price control?
The only way we can do this thing, that is, we are still going on the table of the government because there is no way we are going to do, because we need roads. A lot of farm settlements. In Ogun State, there are more than 5 settlements. There are more than 10 farm settlements. But there is no linking road.
But then definitely you can do some sort of partnerships to ensure that, everybody has a win-win situation. If you go into a partnership with somebody, for instance, that has easy access to the road, and you do it in such a way that you have either a 50-50 or 60-40 kind of percentage sharing formula, you will still have something to gain out of it.
True. But look at it now, cost of transportation. Okay, let me just give you from my own side of, I want to transport a bag of tuber of cassava from my farm to where I'm processing it. And I'm paying like saying 1,000 to 1,500. So look at the difference. At the end of the day, it has already weighed down in the processing, where we will be using diesel, we will be using kerosene, we will be using all those things. For me, I'm buying kerosene at 135, 150, and they said it's being subsidized at 50 naira.
Well,
so there is a lot of problem in the processing chain. So, for instance, if I now process a cassava flour, at the end of the day, the flour millers wants to buy at 80,000 naira per ton. Well, that is almost the cost of production. So, are you killing processor, or you are bringing the processor? Are you encouraging the processor?
Which also means that the producer as well is not even encouraged.
It's not encouraged. That is where because they want to kill them because they cannot survive. There is no how you can survive. So the government, we need price control board. Before we have price control board in Nigeria, let them bring that price control board back to Nigeria. So to regulate everything that is coming to the market. Like he said, when he said it was in the oil sector, he said, how did they succeed in the oil sector? I said, you succeeded in the oil sector because it's been regulated internationally. The price is there. The standard price is there for crude oil. But tuber of yam, if you buy it at 7,000 in Ibadan, you will sell it at 50,000 in another area. So
okay.
There is no price regulation.
Well, let's take a quick break and we'll come back and continue this conversation. When we come back, we'll be looking at the solutions, because it's very important at this time that some of the challenges that you've enumerated, begin to profile solutions for it. You're watching Business Morning on Channels Television. We'll take a quick break now. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation, which is on agriculture, but we're focusing on the value chain. Please join us again.